Cambodia is at a point right now where the United States was probably 100 years ago. Just about 90% of the electricity consumed in Cambodia are in the cities, and yet 85% of the population are out in the rural areas. Just a decade ago, less than a third of the people in Cambodia had access to electricity. That's changing very quickly. The demand is increasing 20% a year, which is phenomenal.
Here, it legitimately changes your life. You go from a place that had no electricity to a place that does, and all the things that electricity provides, or you go from a place that used to, run off of expensive, dirty fuels that is, not sustainable, to, again, a clean, renewable source.
This is, we call the poorest community in Siem Reap. And education is the key to avoid the poverty in the futures. Education can change their life. Education can keep the family good in the future and keep the country peace.
Twende Solar is a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing renewable energy systems to the most remote communities around the world. It was founded by two renewable energy engineers, John Greiser and Brandon Little. So Twende Solar saw an opportunity in Cambodia to bring solar to the Stephen Mazujian Middle School. It is a brand new middle school serving roughly 12 villages outside of Siem Reap. It's the only middle school, and they're currently limited to the capacity of an expensive and pollutant diesel generator.
Solar, for me, it's the original energy. It's the most abundant form of energy. It's the most sustainable and renewable, and it's everywhere. It's access. You can have access to solar everywhere in the world. We want to come into these communities and inspire the next wave, the next generation of solar enthusiasts and solar installers. So there's 1,000 students, middle school students, who are taking math and science classes. Perhaps they'll be inspired in some way, just like many of us were, and that they can continue this work long after we leave.
I think right now solar is one of the most scalable renewable energy solutions you can take anywhere. You can build it on a residential scale, you can build it on a commercial scale, you can make it as big as utility scale, which is what I've been used to. And the beauty of it is it can adapt to every market that it's entering. You can make a utility scale solution where it's big enough and low cost enough that a utility anywhere can hopefully make it compete at a point of grid parity. But you can also scale it down to the system of what a house would need. And maybe that's what you actually need. You need a system that's purely set for a residential setting where you don't have transmission, like our project right here.
Twende Solar doesn't just come and install the system, but we also want to make sure that people are properly trained on how to operate and maintain the system. So we work with the staff or other local technicians so that they're aware of the size and scale of the system and can properly fix it should any maintenance problems arise. But more importantly, we want to work with the students so that they understand what is on their school and what that means to their education, but also ignite some curiosity on STEM career paths and technology. The building of the school itself was very exciting for the local community. As I said before, this is the only middle school that serves roughly 12 villages outside of Siem Reap. When the community learned that we were planning to bring solar, it was just it just upped their excitement about the school and the opportunities that this school is providing for their children. So really everyone in the community is not only excited but willing to lend a hand. School hasn't even started yet, but kids arrive every morning waiting to see what we'll be working on and willing to help us move some equipment from one side of the courtyard to the other. We have people coming and painting and digging trenches and just helping us.
So solar is very important in this community, since the electricity from the government very limited and expensive, and most people cannot afford to tie in from the government to here.
For our project in Cambodia this year, we have 15 volunteers that are truly volunteering their time, taking either unpaid or vacation time to be in Cambodia and help electrify this middle school, which really illustrates the dedication not only to the renewable energy movement, but to help electrify off-grid communities such as this middle school. They're working long days out in the hot sun to make sure that the system gets done in time for the start of the school year. Everyone's excited to be involved with this project from start to finish and see how they can lend their background and experience to benefit the communities surrounding Siem Reap. We have volunteers ranging from PV engineers to install project managers, policy, renewable energy policy makers, to utility scale designers. It's a real mix of different expertise and talents.
Yeah, so kind of an ironic thing. Obviously, we're more than powering the school here. We're planning for their future needs in terms of fans, air conditioning, computer labs, all that stuff. We actually have roughly double the amount of solar power available that they have on the generator, which is great. But one of the things that has been a problem at some of the other schools is that the only power in the community is at the school where the generator exists. And so there's outlets in all the classrooms to power the equipment, and everybody from the community ends up like wandering in and plugging in their cell phone charger and interrupting the class in the school. And so this little small side project we're kind of working on over here is an effort to create a local communal space where people can congregate, but also be able to charge their tablets, phones, all that kind of stuff without having to disturb the school. It's not connected to the rest of the system, it's separate. I think it'll be able to fully charge about 26 cell phones in one solar charge cycle.
My involvement in this project included the installation and build of the inverter, charge controllers, the batteries for this particular system. We were able to get those from Outback. We used the GS Load Center, as well as we used Rolls batteries to develop a 48-volt battery, as well as included the charge controllers from Outback as well. And the intent of this room is to take the solar and convert it to an AC power source that's capable of being used by the school for their various educational purposes. With solar, there's a simplicity to it that makes it so valuable in environments like this, where they're so remote, they don't have the opportunity to be looked over every day. They set it, forget it, and it provides exactly what they need.
This is the place that we never believed that have a huge school, and never believed that we have solar energies with 26 kilowatt. We never believed we have a soccer field, basketball, and we never believed that the entire campus changed like today. Right now, we are a new hope of the children here. Over 900 children will be attending the school in the coming years.
You know, it's too much to ask for the governments of these countries to invest the billions and trillions of dollars in all the infrastructure and centralized generating plants and things like that. And it's not the best way to do it, you know? Solar and distributed energy is going to basically leapfrog that entire antiquated set of power, just like in these countries cell phones have. They completely leapfrogged the landline communications, and now everyone has a cell phone. And I see that same thing happening with solar, and I see it happening within our generation. I think by the end of my years on this earth, I think everyone will have access to electricity if they choose to, and it'll be from solar.
Right now, my dream is come true, that I can help a lot of children in this community, and I hope the children will change their life more than I do. And I believe that 900 children right here, at least 200, 300 children can become a great leaders of the world.